Hi, Leslie here. Thank you for jumping on and listening to my update on what's been going on in my life, online and offline. So every Wednesday morning, my girlfriend's dad picks me up for our little outing. He's 83, and I know he won't mind me saying so. This arrangement started because his cleaning lady comes on a Wednesday morning and he has to escape the house for a little while she works. And somewhere along the line, it became our routine. We've done it every Wednesday since January, apart from the short time that I was staying with my mum. When she didn't have any carers, I went and moved in with her. And honestly, this little Wednesday morning outing is nothing special, but it's so special in another way. And I've really come to enjoy it. I've grown really fond of it, and we've had such lovely chats. And he shares his life experiences and how the world has changed. And admittedly, when I listen to him, it's not always for the better. But some of his stories, um, how he travelled on a tanker ship, container ship, and he had the first officer's cabin. He hired it to go to Australia to visit with his brothers and sisters who were living in Australia. And he couldn't have the captain's cabin because they had to stop on the other side of the channel and pick a lady up in France, and she was getting the captain's cabin. I mean, I didn't even know you could do these things. Anyway, I digress just a little bit, but his stories are absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure sometimes we're sitting on the side of the road outside the butcher's shop or wherever we might be, or in a car park, and we're looking at pictures and we're chatting away. And I'm sure people think, a little bit strange that seeing those two together. Anyway, I really don't care, and I'm sure he doesn't either. But the first thing we always do on a Wednesday is we go to the butcher's shop. It's in a little village not too far away, and it's real grass-fed meat, not like you're getting in the supermarket. Homemade cakes and ingredients that actually taste the way food used to taste years ago when it was homemade, and there's no unnecessary rubbish added in. So last week, being my birthday, of course, he bought me one of the chocolate cakes, and they're huge. So he bought me half of a chocolate cake, and it was absolutely delicious. Simple things, really, but gosh, they really matter too. And it's moments like that that I've come to love working online. Not for the chocolate cake, but I don't want to be sitting on a beach somewhere with a laptop. That has absolutely no appeal value at all. In fact, yeah, I can't think of anything worse. Sand getting everywhere, including into my laptop. And it's not because I never work. I do work. I work the hours required to get the job done. It's just not a traditional 9 to 5. And the best things I love about it, it gives me the flexibility. It gives me the freedom to build my work around my life instead of constantly trying to squeeze my life in around work. And of course, years ago, most people had very little choice. You worked the hours you were told to work, and you booked your life around your job. And that was just considered normal. And you never thought to question it. And my life for many years was exactly like that too. Now, now though, if I want to take a Wednesday morning off, I can. That work waits for me. I can come home later, excuse me, sit down with a cup of tea, open my laptop and carry on. There's something very peaceful about that, especially at this stage of life. Because the older I get, the more I realize time matters far more than rushing around endlessly. It's having the freedom to choose how you spend your day, and that becomes incredibly valuable. And it doesn't mean doing nothing. I know, and it's the reality, I have more time behind me than in front of me. And if I get to be 90 like my mum, I have maybe another 20 plus years or so, and I want to make the most of that time. One of the things people often assume about affiliate marketing is that it takes over your life and that you need endless hours every day to make it work. But honestly, it doesn't take a huge amount of time to get started. Of course, you know, if you want to throw endless hours at it, you can throw endless hours at it, but it's not necessary. I was still working a traditional 9 to 5 when I first came online. And one of the reasons it suited me so well was because nothing had to be done urgently. The training videos were always recorded, so if I couldn't watch live, I could simply catch the replay later or the next day or when it suited me. It didn't make any difference. Of course, it's lovely being on live trainings and interacting with people in real time. But from my perspective, offline has to come first. My family comes first, and that includes my cats. So life has to come first without a shadow of a doubt. If I want to go for a daily walk or have my workout, I do those things. And I'm not under time pressure. Going grocery shopping in the week and not at the weekends. Absolute bliss. Real responsibilities come first. All life's admins can be done without stress because no one is watching how long a call takes. And how many times have you sat on hold for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, worried that you're going to have to hang up because a boss is watching? Well, affiliate marketing can fit around all of that surprisingly well. I also joined a program where most of the technical setup had already been done for me, which made a massive difference. And I was given simple daily instructions to follow. Nothing complicated, just small tasks to help me to build confidence and skills little by little. And of course, you only build the confidence by taking action. The action has to come first and then the confidence will follow. So I was doing this day by day and week by week, learning one thing, then stacking another skill on top of it. And eventually, some of those little tasks started working. And they were working in the background while I slept, which was something that I'd never experienced before. And not huge dramatic things, just small pieces slowly building over time. And I think this is why this can be such a wonderful opportunity for people approaching retirement or even just starting to think about it. I started 3 years ago. I've only just retired. And the thing is as well, a lot of people don't necessarily want to stop completely. I can remember my dad when he retired, and he didn't retire early. He had his own business and he kept working. And I think he retired at 72. And it was almost the day he sold his business and retired, he put one foot in the grave. And it took him 5 years to realize that he actually had a lot of living to do. And I think sometimes it's not that people don't necessarily want to stop completely. They don't realize until they get to the end of their retirement that actually what's left? What are they going to do? They've spent all their energy and time focusing on the job. They don't have hobbies. They don't play golf. They don't read books. Don't do crosswords. Maybe they're on their own. But whatever it is, a lot of people do want options. And when I say options, I'm talking about maybe a little extra income, not talking about millions of pounds. Millions of pounds bring huge responsibility as well, and you really be wanting that when you reach retirement age. But maybe looking for something a little bit purposeful, helping people or doing something a little bit different, but a reason to actually get out of bed in the morning and give your day purpose. Or something mentally stimulating. I love learning. And this is great because I'm learning all the time. But most importantly, and I think this is a big one for a lot of people, and certainly for me it is, simply the reassurance that I'm not relying on one source of money, especially in a world that's getting more expensive. And here I am 1 week into knowing that I'm getting my pension at the end of the month, and I'm already hearing horror stories online about how our pensions in the UK might be taken away from us. I don't know if that's true, but gosh, I'm so glad that I've learnt skills to be able to come online and do this. And the other thing about this is, unlike many traditional jobs, it doesn't disappear because you reach a certain age. Nobody, I've never had anybody ask me how old I am. And nobody's told me that it's too late for me to start. And initially it was a little bit strange because some of my coaches and mentors I've had over the last 3 years, they're the same age as my son. So I'm learning from really young people. But I know that I bring skills of my own. I've learnt patience. I've learnt communication. I've learnt how to read people and understand how to understand people. And all of that helps. And most of those things come with age. So yeah, I actually enjoy working online. I enjoy the conversations, the learning, helping people. I love creating content. I love writing. I always have all my life, in school with my studies, journaling, doing my local church newsletter. All these things instilled in me a love for writing. But I enjoy it even more because I get to fit my life around the whole thing rather than it taking my life over completely. And I think that's what many people are searching for now. Not necessarily millions of pounds or fashion lifestyles, just a little bit more breathing space, a little more freedom, a little more control over how your day actually looks. Now, if this sounds like something you could be interested in, my link is in the description to the program I joined 3 years ago. It's well worth a look. And they are now actually paying you to learn, which is wonderful. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to find out more about my journey, and I'll see you on the next one.